Merry Christmas, everyone. Welcome to Southern Wreaths. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. Today, I'm going to do something really fun. I'm going to show you how I made these evergreen gnomes with tomato cages. I made a large one and a small one. Right, I'm going to start by wrapping my tomato cage with garland. And I like to go ahead and zip tie the tips of my tomato cage together. When I start, I do both cages the same, and then I will bend down the tops when I do the small one. To start, I'm just going to attach the evergreen, the garland, to the tomato cage. Right here, you don't have to do it the way I'm doing it. You could just cut strips and attach at the top and the bottom. I didn't think about that till after the fact. I did use, I think, 10 on each one. And I'm just wrapping. Go down and up, down and up. I'm trying to pull tight, but not so tight that it's bending the tomato cage, because it's wire and it's thin wire, it will bend. And this is just garland from Dollar Tree. If you used garland from somewhere else, it might cover better. But I thought this was the perfect size for what I wanted it to be. I just needed something to be like the base. So if for some reason you could peek through, you would still see green. And it helped make it poofy and help the branches from sinking into the tomato cage. I'll be honest with you, I went back and forth with this one. I tried wrapping it around and around. That didn't work because it would sink into the sides. I also tried doing stripes along with wire. This was finally what worked for me. And it actually looks really cute on its own if you just did it for an artificial tree. See, that's what it looks like when it's done. I thought it was really nice. But see, you don't need all that on the inside. It's kind of wasteful. It made it really heavy too. So these are the two different branches I'm using. I found them on Amazon. I think they're sold out right now, but I'll try my best to find the link. And I'm just attaching them. I'm kind of alternating the big branches, because this is one of the big ones, with the smaller ones. And they're wire, so I'm just bending them at the top, and then I'll go back through and attach them with zip ties. The only trouble I had with these are they didn't want to spread out, like flatten out after shipping. But it kind of gave it a more realistic feel. And I'm just putting one on each side of the tomato cage wires. And see, these are the smaller branches. At first I was using green zip ties, but I eventually switched to clear ones because I ran out of green and it worked just fine. And I just went through and attached all of them, and now I'm just trimming them away. And to attach the ones to the bottom, I'm doing like I just showed you, where I shoved it in there. And then I can reach into the tomato cage and attach it to the wire ring. This will differ for the smaller tomato cage, just because I had it down further so I don't add as many. I don't know if that makes sense, but I attach it directly to the actual garland when I do the smaller one. And there I just have two small ones together. You can get an idea of how it covers. It was kind of a happy accident that I ended up with the smaller ones. The company I bought the big ones from ran out and could only ship me part of what I ordered. So I ended up ordering the small ones, and I'm kind of happy I did, because it turned out to be nice to have the different textures and colors. Now for the back of it, I'm not too concerned with the way it looks, because no one's really going to see it. Sorry about how blurry it is. I left my zip ties there for a second and it wanted to focus on that. So you can see where I've got the layers of the small ones, where these are the tips of them where they end. So I've got the one on top and then the one on the bottom. If I could go back and do it differently, I would have them sink down a little bit further towards the ground, because once I'm done, I have to add extra, because you can still see the evergreen at the bottom, like right here, you can see it. And I didn't like the way that looked. See here, I'm adding them. I added 2 going across. And again, sorry about the focus. And I'm just using zip ties to add them. And you can see the ring at the bottom. That's where I'm adding them at. And I kind of twisted the 2 together once I got them on there. But once I put that there, you couldn't see the sorry, I keep forgetting garland. You couldn't see the garland. It was really nice. Okay, so to make my hats, I got this really pretty velvet material, and I'm just using my rotary cutter and cutting mat. I will say with this velvet material, it was pushing into my cutting mat, which wasn't really cool. I had to wash it off, but it cut really well. And now I'm just hot gluing, and I'm just using my ruler to make sure I'm hot gluing straight because I didn't cut it very straight. So once I pull it inside out, it will be nice and seamless. And you could also sew this. I don't really sew, so Gorilla Hot Glue is perfect for me. And you can make the hat as big or as small as you want. All I did was measure around how big around it was, the evergreen, like where I wanted it to land, where I wanted the bottom to land, and just made it that big around, and then just cut it up at a triangle shape. And then to make sure I get the tip out, I'm just pushing the scissors up through. And it would be really cute if you added like little pom-poms on the end. You could actually use the cottontail bunny, the little tails on the bunny pack that you get from Dollar Tree. I thought that would be really cute. So once I was done with this was actually a custom order for someone. I didn't like the way the hats were, and she thought it was a little off. So I took a piece of cardboard and put it up at the top. I laid it around the tomato cage wires, attached them with zip ties, and then smoothed them out as much as I could with my hand, just rubbing along it. And then once I put the hat on, it made it really smooth and nice, and it looked really good. So I'm using this piece of felt that I picked up at Hobby Lobby, and just I had some extra like stuffing, and I just put it inside there and wrapped it around, because the picture that she gave me to go by, they used a potato because it was like made with real branches and stuff. And I thought this was kind of cute. It reminded me of a potato. It's kind of misshapen. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's more oval. And then I just trim away all of the excess felt. And if you do make this, put an extra zip tie in before you put that zip tie, just so you have something to attach it to. I ended up having to really work it to get it through there. And then you'll find where your front is, and right below where your hat lands, you'll attach it, and then you can kind of pull the hat over. And I did have to use some hot glue, just the tip of the nose to get it to stay. And then to make my mittens, I'm folding over, I can't tell if that's the velvet material, or I had bought some felt material as well. I believe that's the felt material. That's what I use for a different one, a different tomato cage gnome I make, and I'll show you that video soon. But I just cut out little mittens and hot glued those to it, and there you go. That's how I made my tomato cage evergreen gnomes. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, or you can always email me at craftingwithlee@yahoo.com. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching, and if y'all learned anything today, please like, share, and subscribe. Merry Christmas.